What is the MLB lockout? Why is it happening? And how will it affect the baseball card market? All coming up next. What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax. So Major League Baseball implemented a lockout after the MLB and the MLB Players Association could not come to terms and reach a new collective bargaining agreement by end of business Wednesday. There's been a growing fear that this was going to happen for months, and now it's finally here. A lockout is basically a complete shutdown of any type of operations between players and the MLB organizations. As long as a lockout is in place, we will see no communication between players and organizations, no trades, no free agency signings, and no winter meetings. On top of all of that, if the MLB and the MLB Players Association can't reach an agreement in the next few months, there could be no spring training, and the regular season could even be delayed. From what I've read, there still seem to be some pretty large discrepancies between the two parties that most likely won't be resolved anytime soon. The major issues right now are developing a system that keeps all 30 MLB teams competitive every year, preventing MLB clubs from manipulating service time, and lower tier players being paid more before free agency when they're usually out of their physical prime. The MLB has already gone as far as removing every player's headshot from the MLB.com website. I really hope the two parties can come to a resolution before the beginning of spring training. All parties already took a pretty big hit in 2020 with the COVID season, and they really can't afford to let this CBA disagreement linger on. Okay, that's going to end the explaining of all the lockout issues. Let's dig into how it will affect the baseball card market. And that question really depends on what type of collector you are. First, if you're into prospecting like me, minor league players and affiliates are not affected by the work stoppage, and minor league baseball will be business as usual when spring rolls around. This could be a huge boost to the prospecting community because without MLB baseball, a giant spotlight will be cast on the minor leagues. We could actually see nationally broadcasted minor league games and more focused news coverage on minor league players and affiliates. Not having any MLB games could also drive more consumers to the prospecting side of the hobby, creating an even bigger market for Bowman baseball cards. There's also some not so good things to consider as well. One problem is prospects who were recently signed to their club's 40-man roster to prevent being entered in the Rule 5 draft. This is really bad because any player on a 40-man MLB roster right now will not be able to participate in games or train at the organization's facility until this issue is resolved. Many of these players have yet to see the big leagues, and they could lose some valuable developmental time as long as the lockout is in place. A few big-name prospects with valuable Bowman Chrome autos who were recently added to their team's 40-man roster are Oswald Peraza, Geraldo Perdomo, Gabriel Moreno, Alexander Canario, Gabriel Arias, Nolan Jones, and Mario Feliciano. Another problem is the possibility of no big league spring training. Big league training is one of the greatest time for prospectors to sell because organizations are putting their top young talent out for everyone to see. Think about how the prices of Bobby Witt Jr. prospect autos absolutely skyrocketed last year when he dominated big league spring training. Not having that opportunity could put sellers in a bit of a bind. One more negative is 2022 could be a huge year for rookies. This could be one of the best rookie classes we've seen in decades. The loss of the 2020 minor league season held up players' development enough. And after 2021, a lot of these high-level minor leaguers are ready for a call-up. But this can't happen until the CBA issue is resolved. There's a large list of players who I think could be big league ready by the end of spring training, such as Bobby Witt Jr., Julio Rodriguez, Tristan Casas, Riley Green, Miguel Vargas, Spencer Torkelson, and a long list of others. And depending on how long the lockout lasts, we could be waiting quite a while to see these players in MLB action. The biggest question, though, is what will happen to the modern card market of current MLB players, such as Acuna, Soto, Tatis, and Trout. We could easily see a small dip or a large rise in prices. If people lose interest in the hobby because there's no MLB baseball, prices may drop. But if people get bored with no baseball and resort to collecting, similarly to what happened in 2020, there could be a massive baseball card spike. Either way, I don't foresee a drastic change in either direction, and the good news is that the lockout is only temporary. That's going to wrap up this episode, guys. Be sure to let me know in the comments how you think the lockout will affect the card market. And as always, if you guys enjoy my content, please subscribe and help me reach my new goal of 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all the support and the views. Y'all have a great day.